Hello everyone, I am CorporateNapps and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to speak with you guys today about locks in corporate America. Now this could just as easily be called natural hair in corporate America as well. As you may have figured out by my name, I am an employee in corporate America and have been for a number of years. I am in human resources. If you know anything about oil and gas, you know that it is a very stringent industry. It is definitely better than what it used to be, but still has a very long ways to go in terms of their openness, if you will, to different cultures, different demographics in general. Okay. I received a request from, or a question, I should say, from someone by the name of Mrs. Lenny or Mrs. Lenny, and I'll put her name somewhere on the screen. And I actually had this as a topic, a future topic to speak with you guys about, but I essentially said to her in the comment that I'd make a video because it's on my list of things to speak about in an upcoming video. So I just moved it up the list a bit. So one of the things that I want to make sure that everyone's aware of is these are my opinions regarding locks in corporate America, okay? So Miss Lenny or Lenny's question to me was, have I experienced any rude remarks or discrimination in the corporate world because of my hair? And just so that you guys know, I've been natural since 2005. I was loose natural, and then I later had locks that were just over pencil size. And then later, of course, what you see now, which are the MICROLOC braid locks. So my simple answer to that is no, not knowingly, okay? I cannot say that I have face-to-face or heard anyone make a remark or say anything that would allude to the fact that there were concerns about my hair. That does not mean that it didn't exist, okay? Or that it hasn't taken place. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. However, what I can say is I have had colleagues, and I'm in senior management, I have had colleagues who know me pretty well, who have asked me questions about other people's hair, about other Black or African Americans, about their hair. And typically when someone is asking that type of item of me specifically, it's because they know me in a way that where I won't take it as an offense. They know me intimately enough, as intimate as work could be, but they know me well enough to know that the question won't be misconstrued as anything other than I want to know. And let me clarify, there are people who are of the mindset that we shouldn't have to explain anything. We shouldn't have to explain our hair. We shouldn't have to explain our culture. We shouldn't have to. My take is a bit different on that. I don't think you have to do anything that you don't want to do, but it's subjective. What I believe is that if we are asking people or rallying for people to be allies, okay, because that's a big thing now. We're saying people need to be allies. I do believe that we have to be willing to have the conversations with the people who we know it's coming from a good place or it's not coming from a negative place. Keeping in mind that there may be items that we may not know how to answer or may not know how to answer appropriately, but being able to answer in the way that you can, I don't see anything out of sorts with that. So I've had people ask questions or colleagues ask questions about someone else's hair, and I try to do the best I can to explain, but I always bring things back around to in what capacity is this going to affect the person's work? Or is there something related to the hair that will affect this person's work? The reason that I do that is because I always want to come back to, if it does not negatively impact the job, it shouldn't matter, right? If there is not a negative impact on the job in any capacity, which with hair, it's very rare that that could be the case, then it should not matter. The only time where that would come into effect is if you are in a safety sensitive position or you're going into a location that is safety sensitive and your hair needs to be in a way where you can put on a hard hat. It's a mandated space that you're going into that requires a hard hat for safety for yourself as well as others. And as long as your hair can go under that hard hat with no problem and it's fitted properly, it should not matter. Okay, so that's my answer to that for Mrs. Lenny, and I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. But what I also want to touch on is there is an act that's called the Crown Act. If you are not aware of it, please go to thecrownact.com. I want you guys to know that if you don't already know, only 7 states in the US have passed the Crown Act. The Crown Act makes it legally illegal for employers and schools to discriminate against people based on their hair. Now, some of you may say, and there's a petition, okay? So if you can go to thecrownact.com to sign the petition, please do. There are some of you who will inherently say, well, you know what? We have bigger fish to fry. There are bigger demons to deal with outside of hair. Here's my take on that. Big or small, there are things that we need to deal with. I deem it big when schools, teachers, coaches, principals are pulling students out of school, when they are pulling students out of graduation, when they are telling them they cannot compete in wrestling competitions, when teachers are cutting beads out of little girls' hair because it's making noise. If you really believe that that's small, the way that that can impact a child negatively, the way that you can put that demeaning impact into a child so early on, to me, that is just as big as most other things that we are dealing with, because there are long-term effects. So it may be small in the grand scheme of things when we're looking at things, but overall, it's something that we need to basically put on the forefront, because we need to be able to have protection when we are in a situation where, by someone's subjectivity, by an individual's subjectivity, not even necessarily policy, because remember, the policies are subjective as well, typically, because it talks about neatness, it talks about professionalism, things of that nature. By someone's subjectivity, our hair is deemed inappropriate. So again, please go to thecrownact.com and sign the petition if you have not already. The next item that I wanted to speak about very quickly, I'm trying to ensure this video is not very long, is interviewing with natural hair or interviewing with locks. Some people will tell you that when interviewing, do what you need to do to cover it up, right? If you think that you are not going to get the job because you're showing your natural hair, cover it up. I have a different view there. What I would say is you need to do what you feel is most authentically you. What tends to happen when you go into interviews is you are already nerved up. You are on 10, nerves, anxiety, all of those things. I don't care how good you are at what you do, whether you're a novice, whether you have 25 years of experience. The interview time period is just unnerving for most people. So if you are going into an interview and you are presenting yourself in a way that is not authentically you, there will probably be a chance that that will come across to the interviewer, okay? Keep in mind that as you present yourself, typically you're worried about how your clothing is fitting, you're worried about how you're sitting, you're worried about the intangibles typically. So to add something like, oh, I'm going to put a wig on so that they won't see my natural hair, and suddenly you're not feeling like you're in your own skin, that may not be the best route. So what you may want to do, if that is a concern for you, is pull your hair back in a bun, wear your hair in a manner where it's off your face, do whatever needs to be done to make you feel comfortable when you walk out of the door, okay? Make yourself feel as comfortable and as authentically you, so that the only thing that you're dealing with in that interview are your skills, which should be the only thing that's at the forefront of your mind anyway. So that's my take on interviewing and having natural hair or having locks. Now, if you happen to be someone who regularly covers your natural hair up in your day-to-day life, you wear wigs, you wear braids, you wear whatever, lace fronts or weaves, whatever that is, you probably can walk into an interview, or you will most likely be able to walk into an interview with those things on and feel perfectly fine, because that is authentically you. That is how you will show up one day to work, because you have those different styles that you've been able to obtain, okay, or that you regularly obtain. So those are my thoughts on locks in corporate America. There are a number of items that kind of go with locks or natural hair in corporate America, and I will come back and revisit it, but I wanted to bring this up today, obviously because of the question that I received in the comments on a previous video, but also because of the petition that I was made aware of on thecrownact.com. So again, this will, I will put the information, up for thecrownact.com, so that you can have a direct link in the description box to go and sign the petition. But I hope this video was helpful for someone. If there is more information that you would like for me to relate to you on locks or natural hair in corporate America, please let me know. I am more than happy to do so, as well as if there are any other topics. Remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and of course, hit that little bell so that you can be notified when I do upload a new video. Thank you guys, and I hope everyone is being safe. Bye-bye.